Welcome back. Welcome back. It's the Deep Cover Podcast. You heard it right. It does feel good. Hell yeah, it feels good. We're back. We're back in the studio recording. Uh, I was telling Chris and Carrie earlier today, I was listening to Tony Tone on Spotify. So I got all of the songs in my head, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it back with the intro. I'm going to take it back. I'm not even going to get caught up on, whether it's this or it's that. We're gonna bump some Tony
Why
So
not?
that's what we had. It feels good, all around song that everybody who's my age for sure remembers from back in the day.
Mm.
But it was cool. It was cool. But we're back. We got a jam-packed show for you. Let me check in with the guys, and then we get right into the show. So I'll start with you, Chris. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. A lot of stuff has happened since we last recorded, so I'm ready to get into it and how this Ravens 2021 season is going to look.
Absolutely. We had the schedule released just yesterday, so we'll get into that. We'll look back at the draft class. Got a little something special for you there. We think you'll like. But before we do that, Karen, what's going on, man? How you been?
I've been good, man. Glad to be back with you guys. We got the schedule like you said, so we got a clear picture of who the Ravens are going to face every week. We got a pretty clear view of what this roster is going to look like for the most part, with the draft being over. So I'm ready to get into it.
All right. Well, with that said, let's do just that. Let's get into it. Let me throw the schedule up. So here we go. 2021 schedules up on the screen. We do intend to release this on YouTube as well as an audio version, like we always do. But we are going to do the YouTube version this time. No, I've sort of teased that a couple of times, but we're actually going to make it happen this time. So for those who want to check that out, you'll be able to follow visually along with what we're doing. So we've got it up on the screen right now, and I'll start with you guys. I'll start with you, Carrie. Just your overall impressions or anything jump out to you in particular about the schedule.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule, man. When you look at it, a lot of quality teams on there. It's going to be definitely a challenge for sure. But I think when you look at it, I think the travel on it is good, and there's not a lot of, going cross country and those kind of things as far as the schedule goes. But overall, I'm not really a schedule connoisseur. I just kind of look at it, and mostly the main thing I look at is what are the percentage winning percentages from the year before, and I think they got the second toughest schedule based off of that winning percentage. And I think looking at these the teams that's on the schedule, I think there's a good chance that a lot of those teams can carry over some of that success from last year. So Ravens got their work cut out for them with the schedule.
They do, especially that end stretch at the end there. That gets a little dicey there those last
Yeah.
couple of games. But Chris, let me get your thoughts. Overall, sort of takeaways from the schedule.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. That end of the season stretch they have there where they play the Browns, the Steelers, the Browns, Green Bay, maybe with Aaron Rodgers, maybe not. Then the Bengals, who you never know, they could be a tough team by that time. Not sure, but and then the LA Rams with Matthew Stafford now. So and then closing it out week 18 against the Steelers. So that's a pretty tough stretch there. So hopefully they can stay healthy and they could you know kind of get on that magical run towards the end that like we see so many eventual Super Bowl winners get on towards the end of the season.
Yeah, that's a brutal stretch there at the end. I mean, these last couple of years, I really probably historically, of course, the Browns, have been down at different times, and the Bengals have been down at different times, but they had a good run there with Marvin and Carson Palmer for a while. So the North is always going to test you, just that in and of itself, right? But now you also got that stretch at the end that you mentioned. So uh, they're going to be battle tested, right? If they're able to win enough games to qualify for the playoffs, which we all believe they will. they will be well tested when they get there. So I
And
think
then
that's always a good thing.
another early game against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, another early one. But I guess, on the positive side this time around, um, there'll be fans in the stadium. That's what they're talking about here in the state of Maryland. They're not anticipating having any limitations, any capacity limitations. It's going to be a full house, so
And
that'll be
I kind of
exciting.
like it. I kind of like it that they're facing them early in the year because they're going to be in Baltimore. It's going to be damn near a whole new offensive line for them too. So we know communication is going to be key for them. And
That's a good
I
point.
don't know. I kind of like having them, straight out of the gate.
Yeah, go ahead, Kerry. You were gonna say something?
Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to point out. Rich Rebar tweeted this yesterday, but the last 5 seasons in the home, not home, just opening games for the Ravens, they've outscored teams 177 to 26.
Whew.
So let's hope we go to Las Vegas and kind of keep that tradition going.
That's impressive. Those are some impressive numbers, and every season is a new season. But I mean, if you look back at what that Raiders defense was last year, I mean, they were able to score some points on offense. But that defense, particularly run defense, no bueno. And that's what the Ravens major in. Obviously, we're going to get into the draft class in a little bit. We know they've got some new receiving weapons for Lamar that they drafted. We know they signed Sammy Watkins. Of course, you have Hollywood and Duvernay and Andrews and Crochet, all these guys coming back. So, there's definitely a lot to be excited about the passing game, but we know that the Ravens major in the run game. And like I said, it's the Raiders sort of coming off of last year, really kind of struggling on run defense. Doesn't necessarily bode well, but it's a new season. We'll see how it goes. But man, it's if you're a Ravens fan, you got to like that number that Kerry just mentioned. So I don't really have anything else to add. I mean, I think you guys touched on everything. I'm just excited. Every step along this path as we get closer to the actual season, there are milestones that kind of remind you that, okay, we're getting closer, and schedule release is one. You actually see, we knew who they were going to play, but we just didn't know when and where. And now we see that, and you're like, all right, that's that next step, right? We're getting closer and closer. I think that rookie mini camps either started today or start tomorrow, which is Friday. I can't remember which day. So that's another step, So the ball's rolling,
Yeah.
we're on our way. We're on our way.
And 5 primetime games too.
Yeah, and I think somebody said that's the
Yeah.
max that teams are able to have. So obviously, getting Lamar in the Ravens in prime time is something that networks want to do. It's an exciting brand of football, right? Or that quote from Steve Bisciotti going into that draft. I want an exciting brand. I want to play exciting football. Well, there's been no lack of excitement since they selected Lamar and he's become the starter. So you can understand why they want to have that in prime time as much as possible.
Won't be
And
very exciting for my sleep. I'll take it.
will not be. It will not be for people like me or of a more mature persuasion. It's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, but we're going to find a way to make it happen. We'll do like I did today. Get out and take a little late evening jog. Try to wake myself up so I can stay up later. Hey, so far so good. So if I got to go back to that, that's what I'll do.
You've reached the end of part one of what is now a 2-part video. We actually recorded the Raven schedule release and then our draft class review all as one episode, but got a little long, so we decided to chop them up into 2 just to kind of shorten things up a little bit. So that's why part 1 of the schedule release ends as abruptly as it does, but then you can check out part 2 where we go over the draft class, take a look at some film clips of what they did in college and try to get a sense for what these players do well. So check that out. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And thanks for watching.